Picture this. She raises her voice. Her eyes are wet, her breathing's fast, and the words are coming out sharp. You feel it in your chest, the urge to defend yourself. To explain. To show her why she's wrong to feel this way. So you do what most men do. You argue with her emotions. You tell her why she shouldn't feel hurt, why it's not that serious, why she's taking it the wrong way. 10 minutes later, she's even more upset, you feel attacked, and both of you are wondering how a small issue turned into a war. Here's the hard truth, she didn't need your logic. She needed your presence. Today I'm gonna break down how to handle her emotional outbursts in a way that keeps your self-respect, protects your sanity, and actually deepens her respect for you. We're gonna talk about why explaining her feelings away always backfires, what's really happening in her nervous system when she's in that state, how to hold space without getting dragged into chaos, and what to say, what not to say, and when to take a break. And I'll say this up front. If her outbursts are abusive, if there's shouting, insults, threats, or violence, that's not something you stay and tolerate. That's not emotional expression. That's harm, and it's okay to walk away and get support. Why logic makes it worse? Most men are trained to solve problems. Car breaks down. Fix it. Bills due. Pay it. Laptop freezes. Restart it. So when a woman's emotional, you treat it as another problem to solve. You think, if she understands my side, she'll calm down. So you explain. You bring facts. You correct the timeline. You tell her why it's not such a big deal. On your side, that feels reasonable. On her side? It feels like this, you're telling me my feelings are wrong. You're more focused on winning the argument than understanding me. You're defending yourself instead of protecting us. That's emotional invalidation. It's when someone's feelings are dismissed, minimized, or judged instead of acknowledged. Research shows that chronic invalidation in relationships leads to disconnection, resentment, and partners shutting down emotionally. Here's what's important. Validating her feelings doesn't mean you agree with her version of events. It means you're willing to understand her emotional experience before you debate the facts. If you skip that step, she doesn't feel safe. And when she doesn't feel safe, the volume goes up. What's actually happening in her brain and body? When she's having an outburst, very often she's flooded. Emotional flooding is what happens when the nervous system gets overwhelmed during conflict. Heart rate jumps, thoughts race, the body goes into fight, flight, or freeze. Rational communication becomes almost impossible. You felt this yourself, the tight chest, the shaky voice, the moment you say something you regret, then think, why did I say that? In those moments her nervous system is screaming, I'm not safe. I'm not heard. If you respond by getting defensive, raising your own voice, rolling your eyes, or walking away without a word, her body takes that as confirmation. See? I really am alone in this. What actually helps is co-regulation. Co-regulation is when one person's calm nervous system helps the other person's nervous system calm down. It's not about controlling her. It's about you staying grounded enough that your presence becomes steadying instead of adding fuel. Your calm breathing. Your relaxed shoulders. Your soft, steady tone. All of that sends a clear message, this is intense, but we're not in danger. I'm here. I can handle this. What holding space actually looks like. You hear this phrase a lot, just hold space for her. What does that even mean in real life? Holding space means you witness and validate someone else's emotional state while staying connected to your own. You stay present, non-judgmental, and grounded so they can feel safe enough to move through what they're feeling. Here's what that looks like step by step when she's emotional. First, check your own body. Notice your breath, your jaw, your shoulders. If you're tense, consciously slow your breathing. Put both feet on the ground. This is how you start self-regulating so you don't get pulled into the spiral. Second, signal calm with your posture and voice. Face her. Phone down. Keep your voice lower and slower than hers. You're not mirroring her intensity, you're inviting her nervous system to follow your calm. Third, listen all the way through. Don't interrupt. Don't argue mid-sentence. Let her finish the wave of what she needs to say. Just that experience of being allowed to express can drop the intensity. Fourth, name and validate the feeling. Use simple phrases like, "I can see you're really hurt by this," or "I get that you're angry. It makes sense you'd feel that way." Validation is powerful because it tells her, you're not crazy. Your emotions are allowed here. Finally, ask one focused question. Once she starts to slow down, ask something like, "What part of this hurt you the most?" or "What do you need from me right now?" That shifts the conversation from chaos to clarity without shutting her down. In that moment you're not trying to solve the whole relationship. You're simply creating a safe enough space for her nervous system to come back down so you can talk like a team again. What to avoid during her outburst. A few habits feel logical to you but land like a knife to her. Avoid these. Don't start explaining immediately. Here's what really happened. You misunderstood. She hears, your feelings are wrong. Give validation first, explanation later. Don't tell her to calm down. Relax. You're too sensitive. That's almost guaranteed to escalate things, because you're judging her emotional state instead of understanding it. Don't turn it into a competition. You think you're hurt? Let me tell you what you did to me last week. Now you've got two people fighting to be the bigger victim. Nothing gets healed there. Don't walk out with no framework. Sometimes you do need a break, that's healthy. But disappearing without a word feels like abandonment and can deepen her panic. A better option is, "I want to talk about this, but right now I'm too triggered to do it well. I'm gonna take 20 minutes to calm down and then come back so we can actually fix this." Boundaries are allowed. Silence as punishment is not. Practical script, what to say in the moment. Here are some concrete lines you can borrow. When she starts to vent, "I'm listening. Keep going. I didn't realize it hit you that hard. Help me understand it better. I can see this really hurt you. I want to get this right. When you need a break, I care about you too much to keep talking while I'm this angry. I need a short break so I don't say something I can't take back. I'll come back in half an hour and we can keep going." When you want to move the conversation forward, what would help you feel more secure about this in the future? What do you need from me next time this comes up? And notice what's not in these lines. No blaming. No diagnosing. No, "you always," or "you never." You're leading the moment by keeping it safe and focused, not by trying to dominate it. Knowing when it's not healthy. There's a difference between someone being emotional and someone being abusive. If her outbursts involve repeated insults and name-calling, threats to harm you, herself, or others, destroying things, throwing objects, or getting physically aggressive, or mocking you when you try to set calm boundaries, that's not something you can fix by holding space. That's a deeper problem that may require therapy, separation, or outside support. Staying calm doesn't mean staying somewhere unsafe. Your mental and physical safety still matter. Be her rock, not her enemy. When she's emotional, she's not just being dramatic. Her nervous system is overwhelmed. Her fear is loud. Her story about whether she's loved, safe, and chosen is active. You don't have to fix all of that. You don't have to agree with everything she says. But you do have a choice. You can either become another source of chaos, or you can become the calm in the room. Stay grounded. Listen all the way through. Validate before you explain. Set boundaries without punishing. When you remain solid during her storm, she doesn't just calm down, she starts to see you differently. Not as a man who panics when things are messy, but as a man who can lead when life isn't perfect. That's where respect grows. That's where attraction deepens. If you want more straight, practical guidance on handling real relationship situations like this, subscribe and share this with a man who needs it.